Hello and welcome to the live broadcast of the Border Gavaskar Trophy Day 3 of the first test. So, India is stationed at 321 for 7 with a lead of 144 runs. In the driver's seat, India will be looking today to bat and take the lead past 200 runs. Then put Australia into bat and bundle them before they cover their total. The attempt of the Indian batters would be here to bat only once in this test. We'll soon be joined by our correspondent live from Nagpur, Sandipan Banerjee. Before that, let us talk about some of the performances that we saw yesterday. We saw Rohit Sharma scoring a brilliant 100, batting with intent, taking India into the strong position. After that, a few wickets fell. The debutant from Australia, Todd Murphy, picked up 5 wickets. And then, when a bunch of wickets fell, Ravindra Jadeja and Akshar Patel joined hands together and formed a brilliant partnership. They are still batting out there. If we look at the scores of the two players at present, Akshar Patel is batting at 52 from 102 balls, is not out, with Ravindra Jadeja, who is batting at 66 of 170 deliveries. Uh, in case of the bowlers of Australia, if we talk, we would see that the most successful bowler was Todd Murphy, who bowled 36 overs, conceded 82 runs, and picked up 5 wickets. Pat Cummins, the Australian skipper, who was not that effective on the first day, Rohit Sharma took the attack to him, has picked up just 1 wicket, and eventually that was Rohit Sharma's wicket. He has bowled 18 overs, conceded 74 runs, and picked up a wicket. Scott Boland, 17 overs, 34 runs, still to pick up a wicket. Nathan Leon, 37 overs, 98 runs, and only 1 wicket. And we have seen Marnus Labuschagne and Matt Renshaw bowl a few overs. Labuschagne has bowled 5 overs and has conceded 24 runs in it, followed by Matt Renshaw, who has bowled a single over and conceded 7 runs in it. So this is the current update of the match. We will be soon be joined by Sandipan from Nagpur. And before the third day starts, India would be looking here to take the lead of 144 well beyond 200, so that they have to bat just once in this match. As in the fourth innings, we might see the pitch taking a lot of wear and tear, and batting might be very difficult in that position. So from here on, the only target for the Indian batters would be to bat and take the lead well past 200 runs. We are trying to contact with our correspondent, who would be soon be here. Bro. So we're seeing here a few of the users have joined with us. Here's a question from Darnus. He has asked, will pitch day 3 be as good as day 2? I think the pitch has already started to deteriorate, and the fact is that the Indian batters have handled spin well. So if and when the Australian batters come into bat, we will see the ball turning, the Indian spinners getting more out of the track. But yes, the turn might be slower, the spin might be slower, and it might be a bit easier for the batters to handle, to cope up with the spin. So we might see that in the second innings, the Australian batters put up a better effort than what they did in the first innings. I expect that the Australians will go past 177 runs that they put up in the first innings in the second innings, but more or less, we know that in Test cricket, as the game progresses day by day, each day the pitch eventually deteriorates. So we're expecting the pitch taking the wear and tear and the ball turning even more on day 3 than we saw on day 1. Once again, Todd Murphy will be a very key player in the first half of the match today, as long as India is batting, because he's the one who has been hitting the consistent line and length around that good length area and looking to turn the ball, and he has got the result. He has picked up 5 wickets. But in case of, if we talk about India's key player for the day, it would be, I guess, Ravindra Jadeja, as he will have to do a lot with the bat also in the morning to for India to get past that lead of 200 runs, Ravindra Jadeja has to play the main role. Akshar Patel could be playing his second fiddle and supporting Jadeja. Mm. And in case of bowling also, when India comes out to bowl, while the other spinners will be looking to contain, it would be Ravindra Jadeja, I think, who would be the man who will be attacking the Australian batters. But one more thing is that Akshar Patel could be a vital bowler in the fourth innings of the match, because he is one such bowler who keeps bowling that consistent line, which Todd Murphy has been doing uh, in the first innings, which Todd Murphy has been doing in the first innings. Akshar Patel will be bowling that consistent line and length. But one more thing is that it's sometimes the Akshar Patel's balls turn away from the batter. Most of the times it keeps coming in. So what that one odd ball that turns would keep the players in doubt. Would means it would create the doubt in the batters, and eventually that arm ball or that straighter might pick up the wickets. Now, if we talk about individual performances in the match, if we look at the Australian innings, one of the biggest upset was David Warner. David Warner, we expect a big, we always expect something big from him whenever he plays in the game. But it was disappointing to see such a good player getting dismissed for just one run. It was a brilliant delivery by Mohammad Shami. It breached his defense, and the stumps were gone for a cartwheel. Usman Khwaja, another disappointment. The two Indian pacers just gave India that solid start in the beginning, picking up these two important wickets. After that, we saw very good partnership between Marnus Labuschagne and Steve Smith. Uh, and these two batters, while they look quite similar, in this match, Labuschagne, I would say, was looking much more accomplished than Steve Smith. He was handling the Indian spinners better. He scored 49 runs of 123 balls, but then it was Ravindra Jadeja whose brilliance did him in. He was stumped, followed by Steve Smith, who was also means who was playing for the spin, didn't read the line of the ball. The ball turned. The ball didn't turn. It held its line, and he was bowled. And then there was nothing much to speak of lower down the order. But Peter Hanscom tried to stabilize the innings along with Alex Carey. Those two, Peter Hanscom scored 31 of 84 deliveries before being trapped leg before wicket by Ravindra Jadeja. And next was Alex Carey, who scored 36 runs of 33 balls. It was an attacking display of batting. He was bringing out his sweep and reverse sweep, but it was of not great effect in the end. Ultimately, Ravichandran Ashwin picked him up. And then the lower order just added 7 runs. The last four batters just added 7 runs. Uh, Australia being bundled out for 177 runs. This was followed by, once again, if we come to the Indian innings, Lokesh Rahul and Rohit Sharma gave a solid start at the end of day one. Nearly 76 runs they added for the first wicket, probably 76 runs for the first wicket before Lokesh Rahul was dismissed towards the end of the day one. Ravichandran Ashwin was sent in as the night watchman. Being a quite accomplished batsman, he, along with Rohit Sharma, formed a 42 runs partnership. India were 118 when Ravichandran Ashwin was dismissed by Todd Murphy, and this was followed by a bunch of wickets. Within a span of about 50 runs, India lost 4 wickets. After that, once again, we saw a good partnership between Rohit Sharma and Ravindra Jadeja, which ended with Rohit Sharma's wicket when India's score was 229. So, as has been the case in this match, wickets have come in bunches. One wicket has been followed by another one, a couple of more. So, Srikhar Bharat's wicket was the next to fall at 240. But after that, Ravindra Jadeja and Akshar Patel have looked very settled in the crease. They have not at all been troubled by the turn and bounce of the spinners from Australia, and they have been there for now 81 runs. These two have formed in this partnership. These two have put together 81 runs partnership and are looking well settled in the middle. And once again, if we come to what could be the progress on day three, we will see that India. We have another user asking us a question. It's Harshvardhan Films. What can we expect from Jadeja on day 3. I think the first hour, Ravindra Jadeja and Akshar Patel both will be looking to uh, first hour they will look to just handle the bowling, tackle the bowling, see where the score goes after the first hour, and then take the attack onto the Australian bowlers. The target would be a lead of around 250 if possible. Take it to 250 and then declare the innings. Um, Put the Australian batters in and then try and bundle them out as quickly as possible. Uh, Another question is there from another user. It is Juhaib Kamal who has asked what will be a good score to declare, given that it will be difficult to get Australia out in the second innings. Yes, a lead of around 250 will ensure that India get enough time, enough runs on the board. 250 runs will be enough on the board to get the next 10 wickets of the Australians very quick, means within, so that we can manage to win the test match. It will be difficult for the Indian bowlers to pick up the Australian wickets in the second innings, because as I have seen, the first day the turn was much quicker, and as the game is progressing, the pitch is settling down a bit, the turn is slowing down. So it will be the case that the Australian batters will be putting in a greater effort in the second innings. Will be better effort in the second innings. Uh, a lead of around 250 to 270 would be perfect. With that, even if Australia goes past that score, it won't be a big score that India will have to chase down in the fourth innings. A total beyond 150 in the fourth innings will be very difficult to chase on that pitch. So we'll soon be joined by our correspondent and our colleague. Uh, I think we're going through some kind of technical difficulty. We'll sort it out and we'll soon be joined. Yes. Hi, Badal. Good morning.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. So, are you ready for day three? I feel this is the last day of the test.
So, what do you think? When and where should India be looking to declare the innings?
I think India will not be looking to declare the innings. It does not make sense for India to declare the innings because, like, there's nothing to declare when you have just three wickets left and you can try and add another 50 odd runs to the lead. Because if you add another 50 runs to the lead, the game will be pretty much over because I don't see Australia scoring 200 odd runs on a day three wicket when they could not even go past 200 on the first day.
So, means looking at how Akshar Patel and Ravindra Jadeja batted, if they bat the first over of this day and carry it beyond that, so do you see, if suppose the Australians fail to take the uh, next three wickets, then what? Then where do you see India going with the lead?
Actually, eventually they will get the wickets because it will be either because the Indian batters have batted a session and now they want to, you can say, increase the speed at which they are scoring. And once they try to increase the scoring rate, they will eventually fall. But what I can see happen is in the next session itself, you will see 70 odd runs scored by the Indian team, and we will lose the three wickets. We will be bowled out, we'll have a decent lead, and then it will all depend on how Australia approach this match because uh, it will be key. Like, will David Warner and Usman Khwaja give a great start? Because I know you pretty much believe the fact that David Warner is not of use on Indian tracks, but I believe if the two get set, they can counter this match because like if both the openers get out early, it will be all over. Smudge and Labuschagne might not be able to save it here or make a game out of it because they're already way too behind. Like you can't concede this amount of lead on a turning track. It's not a ranked turner, by the way. It's not a ranked turner. It's just a turning track because we know what a ranked turner looks like. We have seen it in Ahmedabad.
So if we see India adding more 70 runs, then the lead comes around 220. So where do you see Australia going how close to that total in the fourth
Now,
innings of the
Australia
match?
will lose by an innings. Australia will not make it to 220. They will lose by an innings. It will be a humiliating defeat, and this is where they'll think that they made some major mistakes in selection. They'll bring Aston Agar and Travis Head into the lineup in the next fixture so that they can have a competitive team that can challenge the Indian team at least till day three. Because this team could not even challenge India to the end of day two. We are already in a lead where we can't lose this game. It is ours to win.
So we were talking before the match even also when we heard about the pitch, how it is going to behave, all those updates were coming. We heard that we were in a discussion where we were telling that the team that goes past 250 in the first innings will win the match eventually. So do you think it is the Indian batters who have done a very good job, or is it the Australian bowlers who have failed to do what the pitch required?
Or should I say it is the Australian batters who have failed to do what should have been done?
Yes, we can say that
Because
also.
that is what
But
makes
but in
sense.
case of the second innings, in case of Indian innings, what do you see? Why did the Australian bowlers fail to pick up the wickets?
The Australian bowlers failed to pick up the wickets because they could not initially understand what was going on with the pitch. We had a discussion yesterday itself that Nathan Lyon was bowling at 95 clicks and he was bowling
Yes.
full when the rough was wide outside off to the left-handers and it was turning off a length. It wasn't turning full. It wasn't a rank turner to turn from full length like you're asking them to drive and then it will turn square and give you an edge on second slip. That wasn't happening on day two. Or sorry, in the final hour of day one. So that is where they went wrong. And then Rohit Sharma pounced on the opportunity and he scored 100. He scored 100 where he did not even look troubled. It did not even look like the track was turning. It was like it was a, you can say, it was one of those Pakistan tracks where nothing was happening for Rohit Sharma.
So there is a question from one of our user that will there be a fourth innings or what? What is your thinking? Will there be a fourth innings in this match?
There won't be a fourth inning. There is no chance of a fourth inning being there until and unless Australia produce something magical and we are bowled out within the first hours of the day. First 5 overs of the day.
So you're saying that innings victory is on the line for India,
Yeah.
and how do you see after that India being positioned in the series after that?
See, India was always going to be the top dog in this series. Australia was not going to stand a chance. I know you want Australia to win. It is pretty much evident by your face that you are supporting Australia here. You want some kind of fight, but see, they're not good enough to give a fight on Indian tracks. They are not just good enough because they might have done decent in Pakistan, but it was a flat deck. Like nothing was happening. Sri Lanka, yeah, I will say Sri Lanka. They did show a little bit of heart and uh, played good cricket, but this is India. We have the best spinners in the world. Like even on our like if Indian batters go up against Indian spinners, I don't think the Indian batters will survive. Despite them being the goats, they won't survive against our spinners. So how can you like believe that Australia will survive our spinners?
If we talk about the series, one of the matches is in Dharamshala, so that pitch is quite similar to the Australian conditions. What do you see, keeping that in mind, how do you see Australians will approach the other two matches?
You pretty much know like it does not make sense even if the pitch is made tailor-made for the Australian conditions because like our under 21 team, was it our under 21 team that smashed them at Gabba?
It was actually the third reserve team, I would say.
Yeah, because
The
I
third,
remember
third.
Australian media saying that it was Australia's C team that India's C team that smashed us on our turf where we hadn't lost for 30 odd years.
Mm. So that was a really great achievement, and means whatever, however we praise that effort from the team from Team India, it would be less.
Like
So
it's a part of history. It is the legacy of Indian cricket. It will be remembered for ages. We remember the Kapil Dev lifting the World Cup, Dhoni lifting the World Cup, and we will also remember this trophy that we won at Gabba. Like Rishabh Pant will
yes,
be
yes,
forever in our memories.
yes. He is also being missed quite a lot.
And let's be
Yes,
honest, Prabhuda, even I think even you want a green deck on Dharamshala, a proper
yes, yes.
green pitch, so that
I
we can.
just want that Australia gives that fight, that all that climax that was built up before the series, we just live up to that, which
Yeah.
have not been the case in this test. I just want that
So
happening.
tell me one occasion when we have built hype for a test series in India, and it hasn't it has gone according to the hype. Because I remember when England came in, there was a hype that this is the England, this is the real team, and they came here. We produced a few rank turners, and it was all over even before it started.
Yes. Means that is the case that and I don't think that it is also we have seen the Australian media and a few of the foreign media calling it unfair, but I don't see it unfair because when there is a chance to take an home advantage, you have to take it. When we go there, when the Indian team goes to Australia or to England, we are presented with pitches that favor their bowling, their batting, so I don't see anything unfair in it.
Yeah,
So
obviously.
I guess
And actually, that is why I want India to prepare a green top in Dharamshala and then defeat them within 3 days, so that we can shut their mouths for one for an all. Like there will not be any kind of chatter about this being an unfair deck, because if it is an unfair deck, how can our number seven and number eight have a partnership when you have the so-called goat who has 400 odd wickets in Test cricket?
I, you know my opinion about that bowler, so I won't be talking about it. I will be just be saying that the match is up, going to get live in 5 minutes. I think you will also try and enjoy the match, the action. So I think we could end our
Actually,
live
you
here.
pretty much know that what kind of action will I be enjoying. I'll be sitting next to you in a couple of, well, like not in a couple of minutes, in 15 minutes or time, and then I have work to go ahead with. Same is your case. I'll just say that the audience should not miss out on today's play because it is the last day of the first test.
I think it will be the fast forward action today. So everyone should be watching the action. It will be a action packed day. So let's just hope that India ends the game here and takes the lead. And let's sign off on that account.
Okay, okay, okay.
Thank you for
It was great
joining.
talking
Thank
to
you
you,
for joining
Prabhuda.
me.
I'll join you shortly.
Yes,
Thanks.
yes.